mentality that says that the natives are aliens and have no right to be in the homeland. And the liberation movement that believes that it can restore the sovereignty, the ownership of the natives to their homeland, as long as the peace process is not dealing with this core of the issue, it's a peace process which is totally irrelevant. It has nothing to do with the issue. It's almost like going to someone who's very ill and having the wrong analysis of the illness, the source of the illness, and providing medicines that not only do not recover the patient, but makes the patient even more ill. And this is exactly what the peace process is all about. So what should we do in order not only to remind people that Palestine is the issue, but ask them to frame Palestine in the right way? There are a few things I think we should do, and I know many of you are doing it, but I think towards the end of my talk it's worth mentioning them again. I think the first thing we have to do is to change our language. We are using a language that is being brought to us and being produced in the mainstream media, in the mainstream academia, by the politicians, especially by the diplomats who allegedly are engaged with the peace process in Israel and Palestine. They talk about occupation of the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. They talk about the end of the occupation. They talk about a just solution that is based on a two-state solution. They talk about a peace process where two sides should have peace camps that would see the reason and build bridges between the state of Israel and a small Palestinian Bantustan in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. This language is powerful. It blinds people. It does not allow us to see the reality for what it is. You hear this language, you really think that there are two equal parties there, equally to be blamed for the continued violence, and all you need is someone from the outside to help them settle few issues like borders, distribution of natural resources, and military arrangements. This is the gist of what we call the peace process, including the Oslo process. This is the language we should throw away. We should get rid of this dictionary, and we should use a different dictionary. A dictionary that says that the problem in Israel and Palestine is the ideology of Zionism. And we should not be afraid to say that we are anti-Zionist, even if people legally try to tell us in Europe that they are going to equate legally anti-Semitism with anti-Zionism. If legislators are stupid, we should educate them, but we shouldn't cower them. Secondly, we should not talk about the peace process. We are far away from a peace process. What we need is to decolonization. And the first step for decolonization is to stop the atrocities that are happening on the ground. We should never say, let's have, as the Israelis suggest, and the rest of the world, that is the political elite of the world, are following suit. Let's have first peace, and then we can end the occupation, then we can end the discrimination and so on. No, it's exactly the other way around. First end the military occupation. First end the discrimination. First allow the Palestinian refugees to return, and then we can talk about peace, not before. I was born in Israel. I'm an Israeli Jew. And when I talk about this issue, when I really think that without the right of return, without the decolonization, without the de-Zionization of Israel, without creating one state for all between the River Jordan and the Mediterranean, when I talk about these issues, I also think about my Israeli Jewish friends. I'm not doing it only for the sake of the Palestinians with whose cause I have been identified, and I'm devoting my life and will devote my life until my last day. I'm also thinking about them. I'm also thinking about them. If they will continue subscribe to the settler colonialist mentality, ideology. It is not only that they would subscribe to a criminal policy and ideology, and they're already beginning to understand the responses around the world to this ideology through the very effective and blessed work of the BDS movement. It's not only that. I think they should look at history. Societies that were built on these ideologies of destruction, of violence, of the need to police another people, on the need to oppress on a daily basis because you are afraid that the moment you will stop the oppression, you will self be victimized. If you live like this, history tells us that if you live by the sword, you will fall on the sword. And if they want this future for their children, there's nothing we can do but to struggle against them. But if they want to listen, there is a different vision for them as well. We know the Palestinians. We know the nature of the struggle. We know what is their basic aspiration, which is totally denied, has been totally denied to them since the late 19th century. What most of the Palestinians, if not all of them, want, as the PLO Charter already in 1964 stated very clearly at the very beginning of the mithaq of the Charter. What the Palestinians want is normal life. And what they are being denied is normal life. Every one of you who know enough about Palestine understands that for most Palestinians, the basic things that you can do in London, get on a bus and get home, go to the university, open your shop, are not simple actions in Palestine. They totally depend on the goodwill of a soldier, a sergeant, an officer, and quite often are denied. What they want is basically normal life. And they don't want to deny the Jews in Palestine normal life either. It is the Israelis who want to deny the Palestinians this normal life. So if we are looking for a vision which has normal life for both the third generation of settlers, that nobody wants to remove them anymore in the Palestinian movement, and for the God knows which generation of the native indigenous people, we should find the right political system that grants equal rights to everyone, regardless of their religion, their nationality, their gender, and their origin. And we should grant these equal rights to the refugees who were kicked out of Palestine in 1948. And then we can turn Palestine into one of the most blissful places on earth. It is for a good reason that this Holy Land is sacred for three monotheistic religions. It has a potential to be a power of good, a source of light, and not a place of conflict. But if we want to get there, and believe me, we will get there. We will get there. I'm very optimistic. We will get there. If we want to get there, let's get rid of the languages that are irrelevant. Let's not talk about peace, and let's not talk about occupation. Let's call the reality for what it is. And let's get rid of visions of political solutions that would perpetuate the conflict, like the two-state solution, and seriously talk about a political solution that grants equality for everyone who lives there and everybody who was kicked out of there and wants to come back. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Pape. May I request that you all stay seated, because the young lady that I'm about to introduce made headlines last year by just speaking her mind and saying the truth. I myself am a teacher. My name is Nasra, and I volunteer for Friends of Al-Aqsa. And I hope that you have enjoyed your time at Palexpo so far. But I would now like to introduce the young and talented Leanne Mohammed.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Palestine Expo 2017.